Hello, hello. Welcome to today's live YouTube lesson here on the Speak English with Vanessa YouTube channel. If you'd like to join me live for these lessons, we have live lessons every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. That's New York time. Tuesday, 9 a.m., which is what time it is right now as I'm talking live. So thank you everyone for participating, joining me. The purpose of live lessons is to give you some feedback. It's great to watch YouTube videos. I have over 200 videos you can watch, but these live lessons are great because we can interact together and you can get some feedback. So if you can't join live, feel free to watch the replay. I will be reading some people's comments. Those of you who are here live, I'll be reading your comments and trying to give you some ideas about how to make your sentences as natural as possible. Welcome, Douglas. Kayo, welcome. Trang, thanks for joining me. Kubra from Turkey. Ayub from Indonesia. You guys are awesome. Jacqueline, Gabriella Jefferson, hello, hello. Today we have a requested topic. One of the members from the Fearless Fluency Club requested to talk about the expression instead of. And really, we use this all the time. So I want to help you use this in the way that we use it the most often. So you're going to have a chance to write sentences, repeat it. I'll give you some variations so that you can say it how you feel best. And if this lesson is useful to you and you want to continue learning English with me, feel free to download my free ebook, which is linked in the description below this video, 5 steps to becoming a confident English speaker. I want to help you become confident. Fluency will come only after confidence. So let's practice confidence using instead of today. Instead of. Let's start with a basic question. I want to know, what is something you don't like doing? What is something that you would rather do almost anything else? What is something you don't like doing? And I will use one of these examples as we practice instead of. I'll write here on my trusty clipboard. What is something that you're not really a big fan of? Something that you don't like. All right, Julian says, I don't like doing exercises. Okay. I think a lot of people probably feel similarly, especially at the beginning of the year. Kayo says, going to the dentist. I don't like going to the dentist. Oh, yeah, for me, I don't like, I always talk about the dishes, but I'm not a big fan of doing the dishes. It's okay, but it's not my favorite activity. I would rather do a lot of other things. Oscar says, I don't like studying math. Oh, Sean says, I don't like taking an examination. Okay. I don't like doing the dishes. I don't like studying. Oh, lots of things. I don't like winter. I don't like waking up early. I'm not a big fan of cleaning the house. I don't like to do housework. Oh, I see. So we've got a lot of things that people don't like doing. Let's keep these in mind. Let's start with a simple word. How about, Juyan agrees with me, cleaning. Cleaning is something that maybe you would rather watch a movie. You'd rather spend time with friends. You'd rather do a lot of things instead of cleaning. So let me write our first sentence structure here, and I want to hear your opinions. All right, let's say, instead, because we don't like cleaning, instead of cleaning, you can put anything here. Instead of studying math, instead of waking up early, instead of cleaning, I rather speak English. Great. So let me give you a little hint here. We've got this word is would. Would. All right, so here we have our first sample sentence with instead of. Instead of something, instead of cleaning, I'd rather speak English. Instead of waking up early, I'd rather sleep. So for you, I want to know, instead of cleaning, or you could change this if you want, instead of cleaning, what would you like to do? What would you like to do instead? So we could also say, instead of cleaning, I'd like to speak English. Great, great. We've got a choice here. Oh, this is going to get a little complicated. I should have given some more space. I'd like to speak English. So you've got pretty much endless choices. These are just two choices. Carlos says, instead of washing the dishes, I'd rather play the piano. Excellent. Oh, Sean says, instead of just watching video lectures, I'd rather attend the lectures by myself. And that's kind of what I was mentioning about these live lessons. Instead of just watching the videos, you'd rather participate and join live yourself. Great. Trong says, instead of doing housework, I'd rather sleep. Oh, Dolly says, instead of learning French, I'd rather study English. Okay. Douglas says, instead of watching TV, I'd rather watch Vanessa's videos from the Fearless Fluency Club. Wow, that's a high compliment. So I want to give you a quick little tip about the verb tenses, the tenses that we're using. So we need to use ing here. And then here, do you notice there's no ing? We have just the regular verb. So we need to make sure for instead of, like Julio says, instead of learning math, learning, beautiful. Instead of learning math, he says, oh, I missed your comment. Instead of learning math, let's say something. Instead of learning math, I'd like to learn English. Great. The first one has an ing. The second one doesn't. Oh, Mohammed says, instead of studying English grammar, I'd rather listen to English. Beautiful. Rania says, instead of cooking dinner, I'd like to read a story. Okay, let's take this and twist it around a little bit. Move it around a little bit. Can we flip the two parts of this sentence? So the first part is instead of cleaning, and the second part is I'd rather speak English. Let's just put this second part first. All right, great. I'd rather study English. Oh, running out of space. I'd rather study English instead of cleaning. So we have the same sentence, but we've just switched it. No problem. This is excellent. Native speakers use both of these all the time. So if I suggested to you, Sean, would you like to clean the house this afternoon? He could say to me, oh, I'd rather do anything instead of cleaning the house. I'd rather go to the dentist instead of cleaning the house. Notice that we have the same verb tenses. Here we have ing, here we have ing, and then here we don't, just study. So we could flip this sentence as well. Trung says, I'd rather dance instead of sleeping. Oh, you've got lots of energy. Excellent. Julian says, I'd rather watch movies instead of reading books. I'd rather watch movies instead of reading books. So I hope with all of these examples, you can kind of get an idea of when we use instead of. Instead of is going to be closest to the thing that you don't like to do, the thing like cleaning or waking up early. Oh, great. Jean-Jacques says, I'd rather make my own croissants instead of buying them. And I'd rather eat your homemade croissants than almost anything else, probably. I bet they're amazing. So for you, this is something that you would rather do. And like I said, we could change this part. Instead of cleaning, I'd like to speak English. If we are speaking, let's take this up to the next level. If you're speaking to someone, these are good for speaking or writing, but if you're only speaking, maybe I give a suggestion like, Cherry says, I'd rather walk instead of running. So if I said to Cherry, oh, let's run this afternoon. I want to get some exercise. Let's run. Cherry could say, he's giving me a suggestion. Instead of running, how about, this is going to be a question. How about we walk? Instead of running, how about we walk? This is a suggestion kind of question. Instead of running, how about we walk? Really polite, but we don't use this when we're writing because usually we're not, maybe if you're writing a text message to someone directly, but if you're writing an email or a paper, this is more conversational. So I recommend that you use this when you're talking directly to someone. So let's underline again those lovely verbs here. Running and walk. Walk. We have a question about this comma. This comma here, I added a comma. And yes, we need to add this comma. If you're writing, especially writing a formal paper, make sure you add that. If you're speaking, don't worry about it. But I want to see if you can come up with some ideas for using how about. How about? Let's have a suggestion. Oh, going to the dentist. It's something that not many people like. In fact, Dan, my husband, went to the dentist yesterday, and he was not looking forward to it. So for him, he might try to suggest, instead of going to the dentist, how about I brush my teeth 10 times a day? He's trying to avoid going to the dentist. Oh, lovely idea, Jean-Jacques. Instead of going to Rome, how about we visit Vanessa? Well, my city's not quite Rome, but it would be amazing if you visit it. Instead of going to Rome, how about we visit Vanessa? Lovely. Oh, let's eat something sweet. Maggie says, instead of cleaning, how about we cook something sweet? Ooh, yes, maybe like some bread or some pastries. Lovely. Lucas, hello. Lucas says, instead of studying English out, how about we have classes with Vanessa? Then you can sit in your house, sit on your bed. You can play with your animals while you're studying. Beautiful, beautiful ideas. Constantine has a healthy idea. Instead of sitting home all day and eating chocolate, oh, it sounds fun though. How about we work out? Probably should. Instead of sitting home all day and eating chocolate, how about we work out? Oh, it would be nice. Yes. Oh, Sean says, instead of providing only online courses, how about you set up your own English school, Vanessa? Wow, wouldn't that be exciting? And you could travel from everywhere and come visit Vanessa's English school. Where should I have it? Maybe close to you since you suggested it. Oh, instead, Roberta says, instead of going to the doctor, how about we eat healthy food? Yes, prevention. Prevention is important. I think there's kind of a proverb or idiom, maybe more like a proverb that we use about this idea, preventing sickness. We say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So for example, yesterday, Dan had to go to the dentist and get a cavity filled between his teeth. I'm sure it was not fun for him, but if he had not eaten so much chocolate, maybe, if he had brushed his teeth more, he could have prevented. So instead of going to the dentist, he could have brushed his teeth more. I'm not sure exactly, I'm not a dentist, but instead of that problem, he could have tried to fix it, and it would have saved him a lot of trouble. Angelo says, instead of having a bad time with English, how about we learn with Vanessa? Let's do it. You're here now. Success. So I hope that this expression today is useful to you and is something that you hear a lot. Native speakers use this all the time. I'm sure that in your native language, you use instead of all the time because we want to give other options. Instead of this, how about this? Instead of this, I'd rather do this. So you want to always offer other suggestions. That's part of conversation, part of communication. So let's try to use this as much as possible. And before we go, let's say one sentence together. A beautiful sentence. I want to give you a chance to use your pronunciation muscles and speak out loud. So if you're somewhere quiet, somewhere private, you have no excuse. Speak out loud with me. If you're on the bus or somewhere more public at work, maybe, you can say it quietly. It's okay. And then later, shout it loud. So let's try to say a sentence using instead of together. Let's start with one of these first ones. Let's just say one of the first sentences like this. How about instead of sleeping, I'd rather study English. Yes. Instead of sleeping, I'd rather study English. There's so many interesting materials online in the world. Instead of sleeping, I'd rather study English. Instead of sleeping, I'd rather study English. Use your pronunciation muscles and say it out loud. Instead of sleeping, I'd rather study English. Hiroyuki, you got it. Yes. Instead of sleeping, I'd rather study English. Maybe this means that you wake up a little bit early so that you can download a podcast and listen to it while you're on the way to work. Or maybe this means that instead of going to bed at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, you can't wait to finish watching that English movie. It's so interesting. So you stay awake until midnight. Instead of sleeping, I'd rather study English. There's a world of possibilities out there. Excellent, Julian. Julian says, instead of sleeping, I'd rather study English. Great. Well, I hope for you, you can sleep and study English, but thank you so much for joining me. It's been great to help you use this commonly used expression instead of with a lot of examples. So make sure that you watch this lesson again if you have any questions about how to use instead of. Make sure you follow some of these verb rules and ideas. You can use the variations. And the next time you speak English, use this. And also listen for it when other people are speaking. I'm sure now that we've talked about it, repeated it a lot together, you'll be more aware when you hear this in podcasts and YouTube videos, TV shows. You'll hear this expression more often and you'll be able to understand the sentence structure more easily. That's the goal, at least. Well, if this lesson was useful for you, instead of closing your computer, you can download my free ebook, 5 Steps to Becoming a Confident English Speaker. I would love to continue to help you learn English instead of, I'm trying to think of a lot of instead of sentences here, instead of just watching live lessons, use what you're learning. Learn how to use it to become confident, how to use it to improve your speaking. The link for the free ebook is in the description below this video, and at the end of this lesson, it will be on the screen here. So thank you everyone for joining me. I'd love to help you continue to learn English. Instead of just being your YouTube teacher, I'd love to help you with email lessons and Facebook lessons and video lessons as much as possible. It's my goal. So thank you everyone. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you again next Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. See you later. Bye.